With the return of Boruto Two Blue Vortex, the main focus has been on Code and the many losses he has acquired over the course of the series. However, I do think that there's someone else who more so deserves the ire of Boruto fans, and that person is Momoshiki. You see, Momoshiki somehow managed to slip through the cracks after taking what I believe to be one of the biggest L's in the entire series. This guy hyped up Boruto losing everything and how he was going to take over Boruto's body by forcing his consciousness into a corner of his own psyche, yet none of that happened. In fact, Momoshiki has failed to achieve a single goal of his since the inception of his character. This of course brings us back to the Momoshiki arc itself, where he received multiple L's within the space of like 5 chapters. This all started with his initial goal of absorbing the chakra from all the Biju on the planet, which first led him to Killer B. Now Momoshiki did win this fight, if you even call it that, since B got absolutely one-tapped by Momoshiki, but who really cares about Killer B and who defeats him, right? He's not even relevant to the current power system. But if you do want to factor this in as a narrative win as a result of Momoshiki's goals, I guess you could classify it as a W. Then again, Momoshiki didn't really achieve his full goals with Killer B, since he only got like a few tails worth of chakra instead of the full 8 tails, so he's almost there but not quite. By the way, the same thing happened with Naruto when Momoshiki abducted him from the Chunin exams and brought him to his dimension. His main goal was to absorb all the chakra of the QB, but he failed to do so due to Naruto's resilience. Now, he probably would have been able to take all of the chakra if he had more time, but Sasuke and the other 4 Kage showed up and messed up his entire plan. Now this is when we move on to one of his most embarrassing L's, which would be him running away from base Dari. Now, regardless of where you scale the new Kages in comparison to the old Kages, Momoshiki shouldn't be running away from Dari, who isn't even using lightning to amp his traveling speed, something we've seen him do in the anime. Not only that, they go as far as having Momoshiki showing those little struggle marks and expressions as if he's actually getting challenged by this Dari who isn't even going all out. Mind you, Naruto and Sasuke scale way above this Dari individually, which means that this doesn't look good for Momoshiki. With that being said, they later forced him to absorb Kinshiki and attain a newfound power and evolved form, only for him to get promptly bodied by fatigued Naruto and Sasuke. Now this situation might seem familiar since it happened to Code as well, just moments after attaining his true power by having his limiters removed. He promptly got destroyed by Damon, who confirmed he wasn't even going all out as well. So the situations are similar, but for some reason Code gets flack for his failures, but Momoshiki gets a pass for his. Now I will say that if I were to play devil's advocate, you could argue that Code's unlimited form was hyped up for so long and made out to be something that would bring about true horrors if it was ever unleashed. So the disappointment is more so valid in that sense if we isolate it from the ongoing narrative with Code and the Ten Tails. However, there is a better comparison to be made, which is more so a narrative beat rather than a character just getting destroyed in battle. That of course being the entire prophecy of Boruto losing everything due to some blue eyes. But before we get to that overarching point, let's finish addressing these individual L's. Now, as I said before, Momoshiki got absolutely demolished by Naruto and Sasuke. He got smacked around by Naruto, he got slapped around by Sasuke, and then they double teamed him. Momoshiki just wasn't that guy. And to further support this, even after Momoshiki healed his entire body using the chakra from the scientific ninja tool, he still got knocked over by base Boruto's Rasengan. Now, no disrespect to Boruto, but that baby Rasengan shouldn't be doing all this to an all-powerful god, okay? Especially when a stronger version of the technique can barely destroy a large rock. By the way, no amount of mental amp should be able to change this. Like, I feel like there should be a limit to what you're able to achieve while mentally amped. For example, like Kid Naruto shouldn't be toppling Ishiki with a Rasengan even if Ishiki is off guard. Base durability should exist to some extent. Oh, and by the way, Momoshiki was actually struggling to get up after getting hit by this Rasengan, which shows that he was actually damaged by the technique. They made it even worse by animating this stupid look on his face. I just can't take him seriously after this. I'm sorry, I just can't. Then they made it even worse by having Momoshiki consume half of the Nine Tails chakra he took from Naruto, only to get finessed by base Boruto and later packed up by a Rasengan powered by base fatigue Naruto. I want you guys to understand how disrespectful this is. Naruto and Sasuke deliberately left it up to Boruto. They had full faith that Boruto would be able to get the job done. They didn't even take Momoshiki seriously at that point in the the fight. Mind you, Naruto and Sasuke could have easily removed those rods so that Naruto could rejoin the fight, but Naruto decided to stay behind and just let his son cook. That's how confident he was that a Momoshiki who just consumed half of the Nine Tails chakra wasn't a threat he needed to take seriously. Now, as I said before, Boruto was able to finesse Momoshiki in base using Boruto's stream and even pushed him back a little. Of course, Boruto later activated the Jogan in the anime continuity, but that wasn't the case in the manga. Boruto did that with pure willpower. Now, of course, we know that Boruto is genetically gifted and has immense potential, but an all-powerful god getting packed up by a 12-year-old would never not be embarrassing. With that being said, Momoshiki later made Boruto his vessel and popped up a few times throughout the story. Like, the first time he did this was when he fully emerged in the battle versus Boru, and he pretty much took care of business. Narratively speaking, I wouldn't consider this a W or an L for Momoshiki since his goal wasn't specifically challenged in this event. He more so just protected his vessel and went back to sleep. Where I do think you could apply a W is when Momoshiki took possession of Boruto after the battle with Ishiki and took out Sasuke's Renegon. Now, you could see this as him getting revenge for Sasuke destroying his Renegon, or a part of Momoshiki's stated goal of trapping them in that time space. Either way, narratively speaking, this was a W for Momoshiki. However, he also received another loss due to the fact that he didn't get to achieve his main objective, which was to capture Kawaki and feed him to the Ten Tails. In fact, he even failed his objective of trapping them in that time space since Boruto ended up bringing them home using Momoshiki's own karma. So in that case, Momoshiki ended up failing once again. Another L would be when Momoshiki took possession of Boruto's body during the battle versus Code, and semi-teamed up with him in an effort to take out Naruto. Of course, he failed to do so once again due to Kawaki regaining his karma. This is then followed by what I rank as his second biggest L, which would be him needing to revive Boruto using the data from his own karma, thus ending all possibilities of him ever resurrecting in Boruto's body. Mind you, this was all triggered by him targeting Naruto and Boruto's loved ones, right? Which is what led to Boruto and Kawaki taking that next step. So Momoshiki overstepping while not having total control over Boruto led to his downfall, so this was indeed a massive L on Momoshiki's part. Now, as you guys know, Momoshiki had a backup plan, which was the prophecy about Boruto losing everything. This was mentioned multiple times throughout the story, initially when Boruto just received the Karma Seal, later on when Boruto recalled the ordeal, and even when Momoshiki revived Boruto using his data. He was so certain that this would work out in his favor. He even gloated when Boruto lost one of his eyes to Kawaki on the Akage monument, saying that Boruto has lost one blue eye and this is just the beginning, he will go on to lose everything. Come to find out, this entire thing was about Ada using omnipotence to switch the lives of Boruto and Kawaki. So now Boruto is seen as the Okage killer while Kawaki is the Okage's son. Now obviously this led to Boruto losing some of his past connections such as his home, his friends, and some of his loved ones. However, it's far from everything, right? In fact, this is all temporary. Naruto and Hinata aren't dead, they're just sealed in a dimension where time doesn't flow. They will return at some point. This is shonen, right? In fact, not a single person died as a result of this happening, or really any action Momoshiki took throughout the entire series. He has 0 bodies, not even collateral damage, okay? Now, as I said, Boruto didn't really lose everything. He still has Sasuke based on what we saw pre-time skip. He still has Sword and Sumire on his side. He apparently has Kashin Koji and Hima is still defending him. Like, he objectively didn't lose everything, even temporarily, which is what omnipotence is. It's temporary, it won't last forever. No matter what they say, it will be reversed or fixed by the end of the show or even before then. The groundwork was even laid by Ada in chapter 1 of Two Blue Vortex. So Momoshiki's grand plan failed spectacularly, and this is because Boruto knows that he really didn't lose anything deep down. He even said it himself, I haven't lost a single thing. A true loss would have been if somebody actually died, but no one really did. Now this of course sent Momoshiki into a frenzy, having bro looking all disheveled and crazy while screaming at Boruto, to the point where he's actually begging Boruto to give him control of his body. Like, that would actually work, right? At this point, I can't really take Momoshiki seriously. He's just not a serious person. Not to mention the fact that he's still a L in TBV because he still doesn't have control of Boruto's body after 3 years, which means that that's just never going to happen. Now, as you guys can see, Momoshiki has way more L's than Code, even more embarrassing ones, but he just gets a pass for some reason. Everybody just focuses on Code, even though he realistically has only like 3 L's at this point. Now, this wasn't totally to shit on Momoshiki. Well, kinda, because I like doing it for some reason. Well, I don't hate the character, right? He does drive the plot forward, and he does it in a good way, and I find this character kinda exciting to some degree. Like, he's kinda like Frieza, but Frieza has gotten like boring to me, right? Because he just does the same thing over and over again, especially in Super, but that's for a different video. If I'm ever gonna make a video on Dragon Ball Z, which I doubt it. But with Momoshiki specifically, right? He has a lot of potential, of course. I see him going in the Kurama route in the end, like he's gonna befriend Boruto, and I think that's gonna show up in the upcoming chapters, because that's the only route he can take, because as we know, he can never take control of Boruto's body. Boruto is not going to lose. He is the MC, okay? I need you guys to understand. I understand like people want this story to be drastically different from every other like story in fiction, but this is shonen. It's going to follow the same formula. It's going to end in a similar way to other shonens, right? This is not a bad thing. It's just what it is. So Momoshiki is probably going to end up like Kurama, but it's also possible that he does end up like Sukuna, but I doubt that's going to happen based on the mechanics of the Karma Seal itself, okay? But something can come up. I don't want to spoil JJK if you haven't read it, but if you read it, you understand what I'm saying. I'd also wanted to say that this isn't to defend Code. Like, if you guys want to slander Code, go right ahead. Like, I'm there with you. I might make a video after this one slandering Code because I think it's fun. I think a lot of people take this thing too seriously, right? I see people getting upset about people making fun of Code for losing. Just have fun, guys. It's anime, it's fiction, it's manga. It's meant to be fun. Make fun of these characters until they do something good, okay? Now that's it for this one. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section. Do you think that Momoshiki deserves some of the beating, some of the lashings that Code has been receiving for his L's, or do you think he gets a pass because he is Boruto's inner demon? Or if that's not the excuse, let me know what you think the excuse is. Why do you think people give him a pass and no one really talks about it, and they tend to focus on Code, right? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section. Drop a like if you like the video to get into the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.